I don't know, man, but it's going to be close. And we're back. Mike Cernovich. Cernovich.com. Is Trump going to win this thing? Got a little sun here. Got some good sun the other day. Looking a little sunburned. Need to moisturize my hair. Look at that hair. Gosh, so cool. Early voting. So what is going on right now on the ground? And what am I hearing? What I'm hearing is that voter turnout for Trump is bigger than they thought it was going to be. It was, we knew it was going to be a close race. We knew it was going to be a close election. And we knew the early voting radically favored Democrats. We knew this. So the question that arose would be, would there be enough voter turnout for Trump to overcome that early voting lead with Biden? And you needed massive, almost miraculous numbers. And the numbers are here. The numbers are what they should be. The numbers are in better places, better than they thought. The numbers are so good that the Attorney General of Pennsylvania is threatening poll watchers.
Can I fix your hair?
Yeah. Go get me the blue thing. I'll just comb it. Go get me the blue detangler. I'll go comb it. So the numbers are so good that the Attorney General of Pennsylvania is attempting to intimidate poll watchers. Did you see that tweet? Not just anyone can be a poll watcher. Call the police on the poll watchers. This is voter suppression. This is criminal conduct. And what's happening is that Democrats think it's looking really bad. That's why the Attorney General of Pennsylvania said yesterday that if the votes are counted, he called the winner. This is unethical, unlawful conduct. And now he is threatening poll watchers with being arrested. All on Twitter, by the way. And of course, Twitter's not flagging that. Twitter's not putting a information notification on there. Twitter's just going to let the Attorney General of Pennsylvania threaten and intimidate poll watchers in addition to saying that Trump is going to lose. How can the Attorney General, whose job, by the way, is to represent Trump voters, Biden voters, Joe Jorgensen voters, Kanye voters, Green Party voters, the job of the Pennsylvania Attorney General is to protect everyone's vote. How can he declare who the winner is going to be before the votes are counted? This is criminal behavior. This is voter suppression. This is KKK level tactics to suppress Trump votes and to intimidate Trump voters. That's not what they do if they think they're going to win. Do you understand? If they really believed that they were going to win, they would not be intimidating poll watchers. They would not be claiming to know the election results in advance. They would not know. They would not be doing any of this. They would be cruising to a victory and enjoying the victory on the moral high ground. The Democrats now have lost the moral high ground. Even if they win tonight, is this win going to be legitimate, right? Well, when I see the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, a Keystone state, declaring the election results early and for Biden, this is a problem. That tweet from the Attorney General of Pennsylvania delegitimized the election results because he claimed to know the winner in advance. That never, ever, ever should have happened. Ever should have happened. That right there delegitimized the results of the election. That tweet did. But they know they can't win without intimidating voters and without engaging in voter suppression. And so even at the risk of delegitimizing people, or even at the risk of delegitimizing the election results, they went forward with that tweet. Thank you for those of you telling me I'm handsome. I don't think I look handsome today. I think I'm a little too sunburned. Got a little too much sun yesterday, so I'm a little red. I feel a little red, a little splotchy. So it's got to turn into like a quote unquote tan, so to speak. It has to, the sun has to set. And my hair is a little. I took my daughter to swim class yesterday, swim lessons. So my hair has a little bit of chlorine in it. I took her to swimming lessons, so my hair is as luscious as it should be. Sneaking in a Cernovich Periscope at work. That's a good one. Yeah, so the Biden campaign manager said they can still win without Pennsylvania and Florida. Exactly. They are shook. They are shook. They are shook because Trump voters have come out to vote. Trump voters have come out to vote. Trump supporters have shown up en masse to vote. And the numbers I've seen are that they're exceeding the expectations that the Trump campaign had. Because keep in mind, I only talk to what I call the Trump pessimists. I talk to the people like me. I like the negative people. I like negative people. Tell me why I'm going to fail. You know what I mean? You're not my therapist. You're not my life coach. Tell me why what I'm going to do is about to destroy my life. That's who I want to talk to. Downside risk people. So the people in the Trump campaign I talk to are like me. They're negative Nellies. Looking bad. Looks like he's going to lose. This is really bad. They need these following things to happen. And what they need to have happen has been happening. The voter turnout gap is closing. The early voting, of course, favored Democrats. The new votes favored Republicans. So the Trump voters are showing up en masse. Huge numbers. Bigger numbers than a lot of people were prepared for. Pennsylvania, the Attorney General is threatening poll watchers. That's what I would just say is, if you think you're going to win Pennsylvania, do you tweet that you know the winner in advance, as the Attorney General of Pennsylvania did? And do you tweet out that you're going to potentially arrest poll watchers for Trump? No. It's not what you do. It's not what you do. That's what you have to look at. So everything that in my model of the election, because here's what I told people that drove them nuts. Mike, who's going to win? I said, I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. And I don't have to, put my marker on the table. Because if I believed so strongly it would be Trump or Biden, I would bet and I'd make money on it. I made money in 2016 on Trump. People made so much money on me betting on Trump. That's why it's like, if I believed for sure who I knew, I would bet. What I do know is my model, and I called this out early. I said they're going to narrow the polls as we get to the election. So the polls have narrowed, right? So you have polls narrowing. You have social media and big tech cracking down on anyone calling a win early. And by that, we all know that they mean that if you say Trump won early, you're going to get banned. So big tech is saying we're going to nuke your social media account if you claim a winner's early, but we all know that that means if you claim Trump is the winner, right? So big tech is saying we're afraid that Trump's going to win. We think Trump's going to win. So we're going to ban you if you claimed he won. The media and Zuckerberg are saying you have to get used to not knowing the results of the election night. That's not what you say if you think your boy Biden's going to have a landslide. All the polls have narrowed. And have you watched Nate Silver's Twitter timeline? Well, if Biden doesn't win Pennsylvania, then he's an underdog. And you're like, bro, he's putting every marker on the table because he's not that confident in a Biden win. If you're confident in a Biden win, you just say, look, here's Biden's going to win, marker on the table, boom. That's what you do, boom, marker on the table. But he knows that it's way closer than they've all said for months. They've gaslit the public for months into believing that it was going to be Biden landslide. And then now they're trying to hedge their bets and say, oh, the polls are close now, margin of error, you name it. It's just all spin jobs. It's how to spot bullshit, right? You spot bullshit when people, they just hedge. Like, for example, a lot of people will go, a good lawyer will tell you the answer depends. No, that's a shitty lawyer. A good lawyer will say, here's what you can do. Here's what could happen if you do it. Whereas a shitty lawyer or a bullshitter lawyer will say, well, I can't give you an answer on that. It just depends. It depends on what? What does it depend on? So mediocre lawyers say, well, it depends. Mediocre prognosticators or bullshitters say, well, it depends. Depends on what, motherfucker? We all know it depends. Whether or not I'm going to have breakfast tomorrow depends on if I wake up. You're not fucking telling me anything interesting. Right? Well, anything could happen, son of a gun. Okay, well then if anything does happen, you don't get to say that you predicted it. Well, probability, under the probabilities, anything could happen means anything could happen. So I can claim that I said it was Trump. I can claim I said it was Biden. I could have claimed it was a landslide. I could have claimed it. So they're all afraid. Right? They're all afraid because they know that Biden landslide stuff was fake. Right? They knew the Biden landslide was fake. They knew all that was a conspiracy theory that they spread. And now they're afraid because Trump win means the polling industry is dead. Frank Luntz has said that, other people have said it. Their industry, the media is dead. Big tech went all in against Trump. There are never in the history of my life anyway, and I'm 43. I might look 100, but I'm only 43. Never in the history of my life will so many powerful interests be on the defense, be on their heels if Trump wins. If Trump wins, he's like, hey, big tech, you went all in. Say hi to daddy. The media, they look like fools. What are they going to do? Come up with another Russia thing? A new Russia hoax? What is the media going to come up with? The polling industry's dead. Everybody's dead. Right? All these industries are gone. Military industrial, what are they going to do? Really, that's the thing. Trump wins, what are they going to do? Oh, and by the way, my simulation theory, right? My simulation hypothesis. If Trump loses, then I'm going to be less likely to believe we live in a simulation. You know why that is? Can you guess? If Trump loses, my belief that we live in a simulation, which is probably one of the things I believe more than almost anything, I'll lower that probability. Do you know why? Trump losing would not be what the simulation would do. What happens if Trump loses? We all just wake up. That was a dream. We were all in. Some boring guy, Biden, comes in. Nobody cares about the news. Everything is boring. Like, what is life? Right, the better story. I believe part of the reason that we live in a simulation is the script and the story. So Trump should have been having a landslide. And then you have coronavirus hit. And then the media even gaslit people like me who are early to coronavirus and attacked us and smeared us, and they smeared all these tech people and everything like that. So you had that plot twist. Otherwise, Trump's cruising to a landslide record economy. It's just easy. So Trump losing would make the story boring. Then Trump just becomes another asshole on Twitter, and he gets banned from Twitter, and really there's nothing like anyone can do. What happens, right? It's a boring story. Trump winning is a fun story because now big tech, they're going to be in the, what do we do now? We just tried to rig the election against Trump and he won. That's going to be interesting. The media, they're going to have to come up with something new. That'll be interesting. Now, the flip side, however, is that Trump, the flip side is the show might be, just to think in terms of probabilities and decision trees, the show could be that Trump loses, Biden has a stroke, and now we have this monster Kamala Harris as president, right? That could be the show. The show could be that we have this Nero, Caligula, dictatorial type person, Kamala Harris, who even Democrats rejected resoundingly for being too radical and being too much of a fascist, a left-wing fascist. So the show could be Biden wins, he gets sworn in, he drools on his chin, falls over, and now we have the closest thing to a real fascist we've had, Kamala Harris. Maybe that's the show too. So maybe we still live in a simulation if Kamala, because that could be a good story. That's good TV, right? How good, imagine the TV show, you're watching a TV show, Trump loses, and you think, well, I'm not going to watch that TV show anymore. I'm going to go binge watch another show. Because that's what the last 4 years have been. We've been binge watching the Donald Trump show. That's why I always tell people, I used to read books. You know why I'm so smart? Because I used to read books. I used to read a book and a half a week every week. All the books that people pretend to have read, like Gödel Escher Bach, the mind's eye, consciousness explained, the books that people like, the Neil Stephenson books that everybody pretends that. I actually read all that shit. I hardly ever read now, right? Because I'm binge watching the Donald Trump show, binge watching myself. That's that, right? So imagine we binge watched a show for 4 years. Trump loses, end of the episode, scene goes black, and we think, well, that's a boring ass show. That show's over. Who cares? Boring. And then we find out new season's here. Season opener. Drooling, senile old man falls over at the inauguration. We now have a fascist dictator who ascended to the office of the presidency after being rejected by the Democrat voters for being too much of a fascist. Would you watch that show? You probably wouldn't, because you wouldn't believe it. It'd be too on the nose. Just like the show that we binge watch is too on the nose. I'm going to watch that show. People can claim everybody's going to watch that show. So now you have a fascist, a real fascist, in the presidency with a radical left-wing Marxist agenda that even Eric Weinstein and Andrew Sullivan and Sam Harris are like virtue signaling against, right? She's so bad that even Sam Harris and Andrew Sullivan are like, yo, what's up with this Marxism shit, right? We have a real Marxist, a Mao Zedong Marxist. So if that happens, I don't retire from this shit. Are you kidding me? I'm back in the game if that happens. Trump wins, I'm out of the game. When Trump wins, I'm out of the game. I'm going to go back to reading books. I'm going to meditate more, do more Wim Hof breathing, do more ice baths, exercise more, spend more time with my kids. Can't wait. So I need Trump to win for me personally. Because a Trump win for me personally means that I can just quit, but I'm like a loser. I quit at the top of my game. Right? But a Kamala Harris presidency with that Marxist fascist in office, I can't quit if that happens, right? So I need Trump to win so I can go back to my wonderful life that I had before Trump, before I became addicted to Trump, before I became just another person in Trump's dream. We're all being John Malkovich. We're all in Trump's dream right now. And we're living a dream, and it's a good dream, and it's a fun dream. Trump wins. Peace out. Have fun. We'll do something else. Biden wins. I don't really care. So it looks like I'm quitting, but I don't really care. I'll get over it. But Biden falls over. Kamala takes power. We're not going to let that Marxist put us into gulags. We're not going to. She'll destroy the economy. That's where too, like the big kind of find your balls moment's going to come for people in like Uber and stuff. It's all fun and games to say, oh yeah, we're Uber, we're so woke, until California shuts down your company under AB 5, and then you're begging them, oh, Prop 22, let us have our company back. Kamala, because she's a true Marxist. Biden is a left-wing pragmatist. Have you seen me really insult Biden, other than I call him kind of senile and dopey? And Biden is an establishment neoliberal, milquetoast guy. I know how he's going to govern. I'm not afraid of Joe Biden. I was never afraid of Barack Obama. Go find one tweet from me where I never gave a frick about Obama. Who cares? Joe Biden, good. Another garden variety, corrupt, neoliberal. He's going to try to bring the U.S. into like more wars, but the public has lost interest for that, so that's not really going to work. And he's going to appoint a couple lefties to Supreme Court and blah, blah, blah. I'm just fall asleep. I'll fall asleep during Joe Biden presidency. But Joe Biden collapses, and we now have Kamala Harris, a real Marxist, a real authoritarian. Everything that they claimed Trump was weak. That's why when you call Trump a fascist, nobody believes you. Trump was weak. If Trump loses it because he was weak, he came out, he finished strong, but he governed weakly. Kamala in office is what people pretended Trump was. And with Kamala in office, it's going to be all hands on deck to preserve democracy. It's going to be all hands on deck to prevent the neo-Marxists from taking power and committing another Cambodian genocide, from setting up death camps, from setting up gulags. But Obama, or not Obama, but I never worried about Obama doing that. I was never a FEMA camp truther. Find any FEMA, I was never a FEMA camp truther during Obama. Because I always thought Obama was fundamentally a decent guy. Does he play hard politics? Sure, the Chicago way. But the Obama derangement syndrome people have, I never had, thank God. The Biden derangement syndrome, I won't have. Kamala Harris, I will have Kamala derangement syndrome. I will have KDS. Biden, whatever, he's going to govern. Guess what? We live in a democracy. People are going to govern who you don't agree with. Grow up, and win next time. You can't have derangement syndrome for Biden or for Obama or for. I probably had George W. Bush derangement syndrome a little bit, but not because he was racist, but because I thought he was a hoaxer and just kind of an idiot. And he was a neocon, right? That was more my issue. With Kamala, though, we know what her radical authoritarian agenda is going to be. We saw it play out in Chicago. She kept innocent men in prison. There's not much worse you can do to that than put innocent men in prison. Is there? Keep an innocent man on death row? Keep an innocent man in prison for life when you're the attorney general? What more can you do? That's about as bad as it gets, right? She'll try to do that at scale. Authoritarianism at scale. That's what you get with Kamala Harris. That will be, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with Biden. Anyhow, for those of you just tuning in, it's going to be a close race today. Don't believe the hype. It's going to be a wild night. I'm going to go have some wine later tonight. It's going to be a long night. I'll do some more periscopes. Thanks for watching. Mike Cernovich, Cernovich.com, Cernovich.com. We'll be going live all throughout the day, so turn on notifications and everything else, and we'll see you soon.